Last week, the whole crypto market took a little bit of a dump on news that the Silvergate bank might be collapsing. But where was I? Well, I was doing what I tell you guys to do all the time. I was dollar cost averaging. I saw this dip and I figured that it was probably a good idea to work a little bit extra hard so that I could get some extra coins and scoop up some bags while we get ready to go back to the upside. Because, like I was saying in a lot of my previous videos, I thought we were getting a little bit overextended here and it was time for a bit of a retracement. I was talking about how we had this bearish divergence here on the daily chart for Bitcoin, and that this would probably be sending the whole market for a little bit lower, but I didn't think we would be making a lower low because, as I've said in the past, we have recuperated all of the fallout from this FTX collapse, and I think it would take something bigger than the FTX collapse to actually send us down for another lower low. The Silvergate bank news was a little bit scary, I'm not going to lie, but I think it was blown out of proportion, and even if it did collapse, I don't really think that it would have as big of an effect as the FTX collapse did. Back then, everybody was panicked and they pretty much thought that cryptocurrency was dead, so everybody who didn't have diamond hands probably sold back then, and everybody who really believes in cryptocurrency scooped up their bags while it was collapsing down there. And I don't think that the FUD we've seen over the past week is going to be enough to shake those people out of their holdings. Apparently, Silvergate was really the biggest bank in all of cryptocurrency, and it was every exchanges linked to the traditional financial system. Big players like Michael Saylor were getting huge loans from this bank, and apparently because of the FTX contagion, they were in a little bit of dire straits here, and apparently they weren't able to release their financial reports, leading a lot of people to think that they were insolvent. If Silvergate does collapse, apparently it will cause a lot of funds and market makers to be pushed further offshore, because the issue is how easy it is to get into actual cash dollars, which in finance speak is called liquidity. Essentially, this is apparently the best place for US regulated exchanges to get in and out of cryptocurrency, and if it does collapse, then it could cause a liquidity crisis, and that could possibly, of course, send the market a little bit lower. But I think that these fears are a little bit overblown, and I think that this week we're going to see the things start to clear up a little bit. Usually on the weekend, whenever we do dump like this, it's just because of a little bit of FUD, and then whenever markets open back up on Monday, usually we're going to be having a little bit of a relief rally. Also, that combined with this bullish divergence that is finally starting to form here on the RSI, I think that we have possibly reached a bottom in the short term, and this could send us for a higher high, confirming a higher low, and possibly even sending us for a further extension of this relief rally. A couple of other things that have been sending crypto markets lower in the past week was the Mt. Gox bankruptcy repayments news. As everybody knows, Mt. Gox was a huge exchange that did collapse in the past, and it has taken up until this point for them to get all of the funds together and start to repay their customers. Now there's rumors that a bunch of Bitcoin are going to be flooded onto the market and this is going to crash the price. But I think that this fear is also blown out of the water because a lot of these people have accepted that they want to have Bitcoin instead of a fiat repayment on the release of these funds. The average repayment is supposed to be something like $900,000. So I think that if I got $1 million, I would probably take out like $100,000 and just kind of enjoy myself through the rest of this bear market. And I would leave the rest of it in there so I could be a lot more rich in the next bull market. So I think there is possibly going to be a little bit of sell pressure, but I don't think it's going to be anything significant because of this. And I think that most people that are going to be getting Bitcoin back are actually true believers, and they're probably going to continue to hodl. Also, it says in this article right here by CoinDesk that while 850,000 Bitcoins went missing from the exchange in 2014, it's not that amount that's potentially being disposed of, because the exchange has recovered 142,000 Bitcoin along with 143,000 Bitcoin cash and 69 billion Japanese yen, representing about 20% of the hack. So it's not all of the Bitcoin that went missing that's actually going to be flooded back onto the market. It's only about 20% of the hack, which was all that they could recover. It says still the potential for repayments to influence the price exists though. In reality, however, much less will come onto the market, as many early adopters are probably still crypto believers, and recent reports say that two of the largest creditors with a combined share of claims of 20% have opted for the crypto payout, the bank said. So apparently some of the biggest creditors were just two people, and those guys have accepted that they want to have Bitcoin repayments or crypto payouts. And if they don't sell, then that means that 20% of this, which only represented about 20% of the hack, will actually be put onto the market. And that's not really that significant in my opinion. Yet another thing why people might have been dumping in the past week was that the Shanghai upgrade is supposed to be coming, which is going to unlock a bunch of staked ETH, and that could be dumped onto the market, meaning that there could be a bunch of selling pressure and it could send Ethereum for another leg lower as well. But according to this by CryptoSlate, it says ETH selling pressure is unlikely to increase after the Shanghai upgrade. 60% of the staked ETH, representing 10.3 million ETH, is at a loss. Moreover, the depositors of the largest staking pool, Lido, are also at a loss. Lido holds nearly 30% of all staked ETH with an average loss of around $1,000. So whenever all of this Ethereum does come back onto the market or it's unlocked from the staking mechanism, 60% of it is actually going to be in a loss, and I don't think that most people are going to be selling at a loss unless they're super desperate for money for some reason. The economy is definitely not doing great, so there are probably some people that are desperate for money, but I think that most people that are actually in this 60% of the staked ETH are probably going to be holding because they are true believers, and they're just going to continue to hodl until the next bull market. With all of this FUD being blown out of proportion, and with cryptocurrency having this healthy dip and a bullish divergence, I think it's just going to take a little bit of positive news to send us for another leg higher. This week we do have some really big catalysts, including Fed Chair Powell speaking twice this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Also, we have JOLTS or job openings, which will show if the labor market is finally starting to cool off, along with initial job claims, non-farm payrolls, and unemployment rate later on this week. Also, next week we do have the CPI coming out, and then the week after that is the actual interest rate hike decision by the Fed. So this month I think we're getting ready for some really big movements, and I'm really excited because I think that it's bullish that we are actually dipping into this weekend, and that the RSI can finally start to cool off before we do have these really big catalysts. With the macro low almost certainly being in from the FTX collapse and the RSI finally starting to cool off from this relief rally, I think that the worst is behind us and we're getting ready to leave all of these bears behind whenever we have the next face-ripping rally. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I just being too bullish, or are we actually getting ready for a continuation of this relief? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, hey, I was just being chased by a bear. Watch out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell too, because I don't want you to miss out on any important updates. And check out this video. Oh crap, I gotta get out of here.